testimony, right?
Sorry, I turned that
No,
on.
you're good. My testimony, right? My experience with pest control and why it was a great industry for me to be in for 10 years. Then tips to success. I'll just give a couple of those. And maybe another meeting we can dive a little more into like specific trainings and practices. But at the end, I'll just save like 5 minutes for questions, a little quick 15-minute meeting. But first off, a little background about me. I I was in pest control for 10 years. My best summer was 560 accounts. It was in exactly 100 days. So that was fun. 140K in commissions. That serviced accounts. My best month was 209 accounts, 52K in commissions. Best week was 70 accounts, 17.5K in commissions, and my best day was 20 accounts with 5K in commissions. And the reason why I bring that up isn't so much as a flex, but more to show you like, yo, you can make a lot of money when selling pest control. My goal in my mind when I sold pest control was always to make $250 an hour because I mean that's a decent size sale, right? And if you can get to that point where you're producing $250 an hour in commissions, like holy crap, you're making as much money as lawyers, doctors, more than a lot of them. So
Wow, dude,
it,
Bill, those are some awesome numbers. I don't think I ever heard your numbers before like that, but
oh
dude,
yeah,
two and
Yeah, that's
nine a
impressive.
month, 70 in a week. Like, dude, you slay me. Like, I've never done those types of numbers. That's awesome.
well appreciate it. But I mean just in general, I mean like in pest control, there's no other job where you can make that much money that quickly. And that's kind of what when I was talking to Dan, if there's anything I'd want to talk to your team about, is just the great opportunity you have. I mean, transitioning into the whole testimony part, I actually took a couple months off to do alarms. I did well, but between just my style of selling and the money made, pest control is a better place to be. My company that I was working with, Vantage Marketing, they actually started to do solar. And I looked at the numbers, looked at the frequency of sales, stay with pest control. Even though my company was splitting off to solar. A lot of people pitch that solar is big money, but like nah, if you get good at pest control, you make way more money in pest control. And then now I'm in tech. That's just because I'm an old man now, you know. But it injured my foot, injured my hip going into this last summer. Brother gave me an offer to start working with a tech company. The funny part is I thought it was a shoe-in, but the only reason why I got the job was because of my success and my track record being successful door to door. So that's another thing to pitch the opportunity where, yeah, sure, if you don't see yourself being a bug guy for 10 years like I was, understand that the opportunity you have to not only build your resume, but to learn how to close and how to communicate by being in that many closing situations.
Mhm.
I mean, you'll be successful in any sales job if you can really learn how to slay it in pest control. So yeah, that's her in regards to my testimony, right? I'm a big fan of pest control. There's a good chance I might be coming back to it part time when the summer comes around, just to make that extra cash. Just because, I mean, I miss making 5K a day. You don't do that in tech, you know, you don't like. But and then yeah. So tips to success. I always preach the same sermon when I manage. I was top rookie in the company, nationwide my first summer. Managed my second summer, became a regional manager my third summer. And I always preach the same exact thing. It was control what you can control because, there's a lot of variables in pest control. There's, oh man, they just signed up with another company. There's, oh man, they say they don't got bugs, right? Or, oh man, he's just a punk, right? And just wasn't going to listen to me no matter who, what I did. They're doing, you get door slammed in your face, whatever. Like that's all part of the job. But the two things you can control is how effective your pitch is, how well you are selling your product and building value, and how many doors you hit. So that's what I've always preached. And the efficiency in the door you're hitting too, right? You want to make sure you're spending time the doors that are open the most, that got the most cars, new move-ins. Don't sleep on Zillow, right? Like camp on Zillow, whatever y'all used to find people that have moved in recently. That was always, yeah, I had like a 60% close rate if I knocked somebody that moved in within the last 6 months. But yeah, focus all of your energy on what you can control and then just hit a ton of doors. On top of that, my other tip to success is don't settle. The fact that you can make so much money so quickly can sometimes be a thorn in your heel because you start your day, you get two sales in an hour. It's just like, dang man, freak, the Cowboys are playing First of all, if you cheer for the Cowboys, you should change that. But but no, but if you you get 2 sales in a day, frick, go get 10 that day. Don't like trying to wrap it up and go back home. Like go sell 8, quadruple it. Like you know how much money you can make, and if you keep on rolling, keep on pushing. So that's another thing. I've seen a lot of really, really talented, good reps come around where they could have had 500, 600 sales summers, but they had 300 sales summers. And a lot of it was because they mentally settled. When they made a lot of money, they're like, crap, I just made as much money as I would in a week, sometimes in a month at my last job. I'm good. Nah, like you're not good until you have pitched as good as you could possibly pitch and hit as many doors, as many effective doors as you could in the hours allotted, right? So that's my little pitch to success. My last thing for pitches tips to success, tips to success is in your pitch, I like to pretend that every single one of my sales pitches was recorded. I know it sounds really weird, but when I was a manager, I would actually at no time. I used to always sell while I was managing. I felt like it was good to get out there and know what my reps are going through. Also flex on a little bit. Sometimes you just gotta flex on your reps. Stan knows that. Okay. But so what I would do when I was selling is I would actually record any pitch that I thought was like, oh, I'm feeling good about this one. I'd record it. Sometimes I just record all of them. And when I had a really, really good demo, I would actually show it to the team, or not demo, but like, pitch, close the deal. I would show it to the team as a training. And then it got to the point where I'd have everybody on my team come back with a closed deal that was recorded within 5 minutes. It was like, I want, 10 5-minute recordings. And then we'd like take turns listening to them. And by the end of the week, we'd say who had the sexiest, closed deal that week. But by doing that, me personally, and the guys that were on my team, I felt like they held themselves at a higher accountability of just bringing everything to the table every single time they pitched pest control. Because the job is hard. It freaking rains sometimes, you're tired, and you sometimes go 3 hours without a sale, right? And it's just like, what the frick is going on? I should just wrap it up, man. But yeah, if you can make sure that you have that kind of energy every single time, that's what's going to make the difference. So you got to keep your energy, pretend in your mind that you just sold the last 5 people, and then go to the door you're hitting, right? You just got to have that confident energy. You got to drop names. You got to do everything you're supposed to do, everything you've been trained on, every single door. Because that could have been the person you sold who referred 5 people. And yeah, that could be the difference to finding success or not. Also, I'm just going to throw referrals in there because I quickly mentioned it. I've sold 27 out of 30 houses on the street before. Like, work referral game. Don't just say, oh, this street is burnt. Streets are never burnt unless you've given your best pitch to every single person that lives on the street. So that's our tips to success. We're at 10 minutes. Now I just want to leave time for questions. Any questions about anything pest control related in general, about the pitch in general? What are your thoughts?
I'd like to know, because I feel like I've done decently on referrals, but I definitely feel like I've left a lot of that untapped. How do you go about your referrals?
Oh, great question. So first of all, I like to make sure geographically that you're setting yourselves up to get referrals. Like, I'll just give one example on the 27 out of 30 people street. So on Saturdays, the team, I was the car leader my first summer, and I would come drop off everybody in the car, and I'd go back to this neighborhood like 2 minutes from our apartments, and I would rework it, and I would have a list, literally a paper of everybody that I had sold on that street. And I'd just be like, hey, listen, we're servicing this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. I mean, now you guys got fancy freaking iPads, or sometimes some of y'all have like, fancier ways to be able to pull up lists. But even if you don't, find a list of people, even people, the last 10 people you've sold, put them all on a list. If they're somewhere in Dallas or Fort Worth, they're neighbors, right? They're close by. But name dropping is huge. So sorry, back to your referral question. And I start my pitch all day. Listen, sorry to bug you. That's I always use that line. Sorry to bug you. But we're servicing this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. You might know a few of them. Listen, my truck's coming one more time on Monday. Let's get you set up, get it done half off.
Gotcha.
That's it. And then the next week I'd come on Saturday, drop off all my lazy team members, and then I'd go back out, and my list was longer. and I'd rework it,
Gotcha.
right? Also keep text messages of customers, bring it up at the end of the sale every single time, where it's like, hey, listen, make a goal from, listen, we're gonna service your house on Monday. By Wednesday, let's get 3 referrals. I want to get you, we'll do it. I don't know. I'm not if y'all do referral discounts or let's get you 3 referrals and we'll send you some kind of $10 gift card. But
Right.
does that help?
Yeah, absolutely. I guess I kind of never, I've definitely name dropped before, but I didn't think of that in the aspect of that's basically a referral to, like, whenever you can just kind of like compile that list. I mean, it's basically like working a referral just because you're naming off so many people. So I definitely wrote that down. And
Yeah.
I've been doing the like the little referral incentive like you were talking about, like, for everybody you send me, I'll give a gift card, and I try to let everybody know that. Like during my pitch, like once I have it closed, I try to make them know.
100%. One thing too is, and you use that backwards, right? When you're in a new neighborhood and maybe you don't have as many sales, don't have a ton of momentum, don't have trucks in the area yet, just be like, hey, listen, we're servicing just a few people here, but if we can get you on early, you'll actually be one of the first people that can start referring neighbors to get all these gift cards sent to you.
Okay, gotcha.
Right, that's something I like to kind of flip it around, right? Flip the script. But then if they're the 12th person, be like, yo, man, you're not gonna have any neighbors left to refer because you're like the 11th person I signed up in this
Gotcha.
neighborhood. So
Yeah, I like
right.
that.
But any other questions? Dan, you
I
muted,
don't
man.
think I have any right now.
So what advice might you have for people just getting started in the industry? Like Chandler's kind of veteran now, he's been killing it. What about people like first day, first week, 30, like how do we help people get like ramped up and going? What advice would you have for them?
Great. Record your pitch. Like you'll notice that like really quickly that you're like, you suck. Like, and that was me when I was a rookie too. Like, you listen to your pitch, it's like, yeah, man, pitch is solid. And you listen to yourself like, dang, I sound like crap. And then what I used to do my rookie year is I would get to my team meetings, or I'd plan like a half an hour before my team meetings to first read like some kind of sales book, just get my mind right. That was the first 10 minutes. And then 20 minutes, I would actually prepare my pitch, and I would like do a pitch and record it myself just to make sure I had the one-liners down. I kind of had certain ways to overcome objections, like just super dialed in, where if they're like, oh, I got to talk to my wife, I know exactly what I'm going to say, and I do it with confidence and as smooth as possible, because delivery is huge and confidence is huge when it comes to getting good fast. Yeah, so when you're new, you just got to get good fast, right? So get good fast and you just stay positive. Right, you're not supposed to like slay it and sell 10 every single day when you're a rookie. Like you're gonna learn. It's gonna take a minute to be able to fine tune your approach. But yeah, after that you'll eventually start getting really good at making money, dude. So don't, yeah, again, you're gonna get really frustrated really early when you're starting, but don't let that get you down. Just again, control what you can control. Get your pitch dialed in, and hit a ton of freaking doors. Don't think about, oh man, that guy kicked my balls, I'm gonna take it 5 minutes off, go my Instagram. No, that's stupid. Like hit as many doors as you can. Like, so.
You can tell me if I'm wrong, but would you give the same advice to somebody that's a little more experienced? Because I ran into this. My problem was right out of the gate, I had a ton of success. Like my second day, I sold 7, and then I feel like for the first 2 months straight, I never had a day where I sold less than 3. And then sales started to get a little more scarce. Like I'd pop one, or I've had a few 0 days. I haven't been hitting those like 5 and 7 days lately.
Yeah.
And other than because I've got some other stuff going on, so I wouldn't consider like the last month in that, just because I haven't knocked as much as normal. But what advice do you have on somebody that's kind of having a little drought? Because I know it's hard to kind of stay like mentally positive.
Yeah, I mean, I probably say the same exact things. Like I said, it was funny because I was manager for 7 years, and like my preaching to my teams is always the same. It's like, get your mind right, and get your pitch right, and then just knock a ton of doors. Like that's kind of what it comes down to in door to door in general. But I'm trying to think of, yeah, record your pitch. There's sometimes I'm just like, man, I've been doing this freaking 4 years, and I record my pitch like, yo, that sounded like crap. Like that was bad. Like, geez, I'm not showing my team that one. They're not gonna have any trust in me. And then I go record another one. I fine tune. I noticed that I didn't ask enough questions. Now, one thing I was really good at was asking questions, and which seems really counterintuitive when it comes to selling. But like I'm just like, yeah, neighbors aren't getting too much insight. You got getting any ants inside or just on the exterior? And they'd be like, oh, we got a couple in the kitchen. Like, don't you dare just freaking dive into, okay, cool, we're gonna spray under here, blah, 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 blah. Don't you dare do that. Like, that's a huge opportunity. They're like lobbing opportunity for you to build value. You grab that crap and dunk it. What you say is like, cool, man. So like, how often do you see them? Are they the small ones or the big ones? Like where in the kitchen are you seeing them? Can I take a look real quick? Like, you gotta really, really ask more questions about the problem so it becomes bigger. So then when suddenly you say what you're going to do, it's solving a problem, right? You don't want to pitch information, you want to pitch solutions. So that's a huge thing too. If you're not asking questions, I know it's a lot of experienced rep that go into droughts, they get too comfortable with talking. They don't ask enough questions because the questions is what builds value. Okay, cool. The wasp nest, cool. I'm seeing a couple here. Do you have shutters just like that in the back? Gotcha. I'm guessing you got one of those like gazebos a lot of neighbors have. Yeah, man, all of them are getting at least a couple of the wasp nests underneath. Is that the same here? Cool, let's go take a look real quick, right? Or ask questions about it, then be like, check this out. This is one thing John and Steve loved about our service. Where it comes with long pole, boom, 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 boom. That's the difference between like, I see wasp, we're gonna do this. I see ants, we're gonna do this, right? It doesn't build a ton of value. So that's always my first thing I check with experienced reps that are struggling is like, get more comfortable with asking questions and finding pain points that'll help you build value when you explain what we'll do. So
Okay.
but yeah, and the one thing too, when people aren't buying, be quick with them, man. Bounce. That's another thing. Like, if someone just signed up with another company, I mean, first of all, it's the biggest flex if someone just signed up with another company and you still sell them. That's a flex. You have to do that at least once in your pest control career. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Like when Aptiv goes and sells something, I'm just like, what? They're not taking care of the bugs? No, like, you heard of sunk costs before? Those are called sunk costs when you pay for stuff that doesn't work. Let's get you started tomorrow. And just figure sell them a pest control account right on top of the other account, right? I've done it
Yeah.
a couple of times, so but you just gotta be confident about it. But yeah, sometimes when they're just like, they just signed up, they did everything I wanted to, just bounce. Don't spend a lot of time with people that aren't gonna buy. So you got doors to hit. So
Gotcha.
that's the only thing I give. That's usually my pitch to experienced reps, right? That's normally the 2 times they're spending too much time with people that don't buy, and they aren't asking enough questions to build value because they're too comfortable talking, right?
Gotcha.
Nice. This is awesome stuff. Yeah, we'll definitely have to have you back for some more like in-depth training on things. Something that might be cool is like, sounds like you got a great like intro, great icebreaker. Like that's huge. And then something else we might talk about is the end of the sale, like the resolve, ace, close. Like, you know, how do you really close the deal, or like what are some closes you use and what are some intros you use and stuff? Like, I don't know if you had a couple right now, or we could dive deeper into it later.
Yeah, I mean, with closes, I was all about the option close. Like, I just love the option close. Like, cool. Well, first of all, I'd always my close was always the same. I'd always find a value point. I'd ask a question that gave me a yes, and then I'd ask for the close. So I'd be like, okay, cool. Well, I mean, you mentioned having spiders in the garage. You want us to treat that too when we come in tomorrow? And they'll say yes, right? They're not gonna say no, especially if you're building a value. Be like, they'll say yes. They'd be like, sounds good. 3 to 5, is that the best time to catch y'all, or a little bit earlier? That's just when I'm doing all the neighbors is 3 to 5. Right? And then they'll come up with a concern. If they do, it's like, well, shoot me straight. I mean, why don't you want to do it? I'm sure you don't like the bugs. I'll just wait. And then whatever they tell me, I overcome and I go back in my pitch and I build value with something else. And then I close them again. So you said 3 to 5. Is that the best time slot? I can come a little later if you want. 5 to 7. Is that better? Or 3 to 5? So again, it's just, you want pest control, you want pest control. Just hit them again and again and again. Sometimes you got to close these frickers like 5 times before you got them, but you got to just keep on building value, going back around, building value, going back around with a ton of confidence, right?
Right.
That'd be my spiel with closing. In regards to intro, just energy. That would be my tip for intro. Just energy. Like, what's up, John? How you doing today? Or what's up, man? How you doing today? I would say, sorry, my job now I know their names, but right now it's like, what's up, man? How you doing today? Sometimes if there's a referral, you must be John. Yep, just the guy I'm looking for. I was talking to Steve. He's trying to get a gift card so you can sign up with him and get pest control. Y'all getting ants in the kitchen too? No? Well, he freaking is. I mean, the main thing we want to do is this, and then go around, right? And then kind of break it down for them. But just ton of energy right in the beginning. You sound, especially here in Texas, right? There's a ton of other pest control companies that go through. So you can't just be like, our trucks are in the area, so we're doing it cheap. Like that. I mean, that'll build value for like some of them new move-ins and a couple of people that, you know, I've heard of you or this or that. But to set yourself apart, rapport and energy, right? That's going to be the difference between the 10 rookies that like knock their door, who's like, oh, really wish my cousin didn't sign me up to do this, right? Who pitch pest control. That's going to be the difference between them and you, is the energy and confidence and effectiveness that you come to the door with. So that'd be my quick spiel is for closing and then intro.
Gotcha. Actually, I do have one more question for you.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice on getting a higher contract value for somebody that you're trying to switch from a cheaper service?
Yeah. So just a matter of confidence, especially if it's somebody that like the service isn't working. Just be, I like to just really break it down for them where it's like, okay, hold the phone. So I just want to, like, I always break it down for somebody who's saying that, oh, I'm not sure if I want to spend the extra $40 to switch over to your company. I'd always just break it down for them and be like, hold the phone. So you mentioned that you're seeing a lot of spiders in your garage despite having pest control. So you're paying right now $100 for a solution that's not working at all. Correct? So really, it's almost like you're just giving this company money for nothing. That, in my opinion, right? Am I correct? Would you agree with me? Well, kind of, yeah. Okay, cool. What I'm asking you is for you to pay $40 to actually have a solution to your problem. Right?
Gotcha.
$40 more to have a solution to your problem. Because listen, when that spider makes its way into your bedroom and your wife gets one pop in on her face, you're gonna wish that you spent that $40 to make sure those spiders out of your house. So, I mean, that's the reason why X, Y, and Z have switched over from A, B, and C to come with DanCam.
Gotcha.
So
I like that.
Nice. That's awesome. Cool. I know you're busy. I don't want to take all your time. Got some things I need to jump to also. But dude, you're awesome. I don't think we've ever like talked this in depth on pest control sales, but yeah, you're really a god of pest control sales. That's awesome.
no, dude, 10 years, you learn a thing or two, It's a lot of doors in 10 years, man. But
like, dude, I better be good, or I don't know what I'm doing.
yeah, well, the thing is too, yeah, I stayed on the doors. Even when I manage, I like to hit doors every once in a while, keep things fresh. But yeah, hey, one of these Saturdays, I'm pretty busy now, but one of these Saturdays, maybe we'll hop over there and have an in-person training, right? Just
yeah,
that I think that would be solid. They can throw a pest control shirt on, like move around a little bit, show you the pitch. That's another thing. You got to be moving, man. Last tip, and I'll end on this. Okay, I call it the block out. Right, it's my favorite thing to do, especially with rookies. So I'd be pitching a guy, right? I'd be like, whatever it is, I'd be heading to the window, be like, hey, let me show you something real quick. And with a ton of confidence, just walk. So you see a shutter right here. And then I'd walk them outside the door, because like nobody's gonna buy pest control like this, so you kind of walk them outside the door. And then when I get them there, I talked about the wasp spiders, try and close them, and then whatever. And then I make my way to the ants and spiders and the foundation, and I'd move between them and the door. So I got these fools blocked out. You know how awkward it is for them to walk, say no, walk around me and my big old body and make their way into the door? Like, so that's what I call the block out. So work on that, getting people outside of the door, and then walking between them and the door. So now it's like they gotta tell you no, and they gotta walk all the way around you. Like, use your body to literally box them out, right?
I love that.
And it just gives them an extra little bit time to build value, right? If you can get them in that position. So I mean, that could work on everybody, right? But freak, I've had doors where I go like this, and I had so much confidence. Guys sold a bunch of names, like, hey, we're working with about 7 neighbors, John, Steve, Rick, guys at the corner with the big ugly dog. Yeah, I gotta show you something. And I just walk to the corner of the house. They just follow me, and then I come in and block them off. So anyway, but I gotta dip out of here. But yeah, any other questions? I can send an email too, so you can fire off any other random questions you may have in general. But yeah, Dan's a stud. Like, he's a good friend of mine. He's a cool guy. He's a guy I trust. I mean, that's why I carve out a little time like this to meet with y'all, just because like I look up to him. And yeah, y'all are in good hands. We were talking at his daughter's baptism. We were talking about pest control and the business, and I could just see how much he expressed care for all of his reps and for his team and the success of the business, but all of y'all. Like, he's invested in all of y'all. So, like, me personally, I trusted my managers and I looked up to them. So I always want to do best for them. So yeah, just do your best. Again, break it down, hit as many doors as you can, and just dial in your pitch. Record it, pretend every single one's recorded. Bring a ton of energy, and yeah, go kill a ton of bugs, make a ton of money.
All right.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Billy.
Yeah, thanks,
problem.
Billy.
We'll chat soon, gang. Good to meet you.
Yep.
Yeah, you too.